Booze and barbecue. There's nothing that gets me more pumped up than this music, Coy. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Well, it's the truth. It is the God's honest truth. I am Andy with Booze and Barbecue. Joining me, as always, is F. Coyson Masterson Sinclair. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
You know, I've never actually asked you this. We've been doing the show for how long? 2 years?
Yeah, at least.
I don't know what the F stands for.
It stands for fucking Coy. Yeah.
So your full name is Fuck Coy?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing.
Your name is Fuck Coy.
My birth certificate says Fuck Coy Sim Masterson.
So it's not like fuck you, but it's just it's alliterating that you're like. Is that like your status in life? You're a fuck Coy?
You got to talk to my parents, man. I don't know.
Wow, that is some next level shit. I have never seen anything like it. Obviously, we are doing a more uncensored show, as we were trying to keep it like PG-13 there for a while, but it just was not happening because fuck Coy can't keep his mouth shut over here.
Yeah, it's definitely my fault. Why don't you enjoy some of this beer I got here? Some Shillings.
This looks like cider.
Yeah, sorry, cider. Shillings.
Okay, yeah.
Grapefruit and chill.
Grapefruit and chill, huh?
Yeah, it's a dry cider.
You get this from Ross?
I did.
I love crowlers, dude. There's nothing better than a crowler filler.
Yeah. Ooh. And I like that. Tart.
Ooh, that's good, though.
I like it.
I like it, too. I apologize for the mouth noises, you guys. I just realized I could hear it in my headphones.
It's probably me.
I thought it was me. Like, I took a drink, and then I was like... Mwah.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. It's very tart, but yeah, it's good.
I feel like a smallmouth bass.
Yeah. I'm going after it. Yep.
I can dig it. Can you imagine barrel aging this?
I can imagine barrel aging this in my stomach by like drinking an entire barrel of it.
This has a bubble yum flavor to it. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Bubble. It has a sweetness, but it's then finished with some serious tartness.
It has that bubble yum flavor to me. Now, I have had 4 glasses of whiskey before you showed up, so I could be a little bit skewed on my palate, but this tastes like it's got a little bit of, honestly, it tastes like bubble yum to me.
Yeah, I'm not really picking up bubble yum, but...
What do you think? Is there a close equation there?
Yeah, I'm grapefruit.
Grapefruit, fair enough. Well, listen, we didn't do a show last week. I hope for everybody... appreciated the live stream. It was one of our first episodes, by the way, and man, it was a ton of fun. I shouldn't say first episodes. It was one of our first live episodes.
Yes.
What do you think of the live format? You digging it?
Oh, I couldn't go back.
No, I can't go back.
Yeah, no.
Even if we were pre-recording this, we would still do it in a live way.
Yeah.
Like I just tell producer Nick, like, hit record, we're doing it.
No, number one, it's
fuck it, we're doing it live.
Yeah, there's that where you just don't even know what you're going to talk about in the show, so you just fuck it, we're going in hot. Fire up the mics, I'm coming in. And it also saves so much in just studio time post for you, not for me, because I just go home and listen to it when it comes out. But I mean, I know originally you spent a lot of time editing.
Yeah.
And once we got to a point where like we're gonna try and make it so we have less and less editing, and then at one point you were like, I think we're gonna ready to go live. I was like, I don't know, man. And then we just did it.
And by the way, it was a reminder of where producer Nick has come from, which is kind of hilarious to me because in that episode that we replayed last week, it was you and me just like burping, farting, saying whatever. And all of a sudden in the video, and we're talking like a minute in, I look over at Nick and then I realize that he's making the face like, you are live, asshole. Can you shut your big fat mouth? And I'm like, oh, we're live.
I remember something about that. It was a long time ago, but it was like, snap your fingers or something. Yeah, we had to come up with some codes.
Yeah, it was something like, can you say something when we're live? And so now, of course, we have the countdown, but it's been really fun. It's been kind of crazy watching some of these other shows that I really enjoy, some podcasts I really enjoy. But now that we do it live, I'm realizing that they do live to tape and then do post editing.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a totally different format, and we just mics are hot, cameras on, and we roll for an hour.
Yep.
And hopefully you guys are being entertained. If you're not, let us know. If you are, let us know. If you're not watching at all, if you're just scrolling past, just, give us a thumbs up. We always enjoy that. We won't turn that down. I appreciate that you brought this in. As soon as we finish this, we actually have a mystery beer that we're going to need to crack into.
Mystery beer. Explain how this works.
So, Corianne, my lovely wife and co-host of Pardon My Fork, you should go and check that out. By the way, we just recently moved to Wednesdays at 7 p.m. where we do our live wine tasting with Chris, the wine guy, sommelier. He comes on and explains stuff and corrects me when I am wrong about stuff. Like, I'll be like, hey, this wine's kind of sweet. And he'll be like, nah, it's just the flavonoids. It's actually a dry wine, so don't say sweet. Almost every episode I do that where he has me try a wine, and I'm like, yeah, it's got some. I need to just learn from my mistakes. Matter of fact, on our dry erase board, I'm just going to put on there in big bold letters at the top, this wine is not sweet.
This wine is not sweet.
No, wine is not sweet. Sometimes it can trick your brain into thinking it's sweet, but it's not. Anyways, that's besides the point. This week we're doing bourbon and bourbon cocktails, so it's right up my alley. This is
so
a show.
Are you going to try and correct Chris now?
I don't know if I'm quite that bold.
No, not going to go for it.
I honestly think he's doing this bourbon show like for me because he feels bad for me. He's like, all right, let's kick the dummy a little bit of something.
Yeah. Let the kid have his candy.
Yeah. The training wheels are on, but we'll just bend him out a little bit.
Yeah, take one training wheel off.
Yeah, exactly. No, so what happened is Corianne and wine guy Chris, they got together and collaborated on some beers just for you and I, a full case. And each week we're going to be tasting a mystery beer, and apparently they're going to be pretty good.
I'm excited. And this is how live we do this. I learned about this the second the listeners did. I did not know this was happening.
I learned about it about an hour ago. You're noticing this red bag I'm holding up? This legit has the beer. I have not looked at it. I have no idea what's in here.
All right. Well, I'm excited.
Yeah, we're going to dive into it. But first, a little bit of news. First of all, you know that Mark Zuckerberg is back in the headlines.
He is? What'd he do now?
He is. Apparently.
Other than be rich.
Well, he went surfing on this automatic surfboard where you have like a trigger, and it's powered.
Yeah.
And you ride it like almost like a powered skateboard, but it's a surfboard. And producer Nick, I think, has some photos up.
It looks like his human suit is super itchy in that picture. You know what I'm saying? Look at his face. That face is definitely over another being's face. Like, I remember when I was young and they're like, yeah, it's just these reptiles in their people suits. And I'm like, yeah, all right, weirdo. And the older I see pictures and I'm like, okay. Yeah, he's definitely got a tail tucked down one of his legs.
He's got so much sunscreen that he looks like he's out of one of those 1700s French plays.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to watch a French opera, and he has the white, masquerade mask on.
He's actually doing a very complex cosplay. He's playing Marie Antoinette on a surfboard.
He went like
look at that face.
He has like a V for Vendetta mask on, but without the mustache.
He's like Guy Fawkes, but with a receding hairline.
Well, it's like his forehead is terraced. It goes to his hairline, and there's like a notch for his hair.
Between his eyebrows and his hairline is a mezzanine.
It looks like he's trying to go rice on a steep hill.
I don't know what else to say about this.
Was this car or barbecue related, or we just wanted to make fun of Mark Zuckerberg?
I saw it and I laughed so hard.
This is since we go live on Facebook and we have so many problems. Screw you, like this is really your fault. You rich, weird faced.
He does have quite a donk on him, though. I have to admit, it's probably just because his tail's curled up inside of the human suit, but I'm impressed. The dude's got some HGH going on.
I'm also wildly curious why he's surfing in a hoodie. Am I the only one that noticed he's wearing a hoodie?
Coy, compared to like everything else that's happening in this photo, I just don't know. He's in a hoodie. He's got the white. Ooh, you know what? Maybe he's racist. He's playing whiteface.
But he's wearing someone else's face for sure. That's for sure. Is there like a white blackface version of like interspecies thing?
Do you know what? I think this is it right here. I think this is when you leave your human face at home because you don't want it to get wet.
I mean, it honestly looks like if you ever worn like a gorilla suit and you turn your head and your head turns inside the suit more than the actual face turns. That's what it looks like is going on here. Like you could see.
Well, it looks like he's actually gotten a sunburn before he got the sunscreen because the cheeks are super rosy. It looks like somebody used an airbrush and put red over, or maybe red under the white.
I'm sure you have to airbrush that mask every day, but he got in the water before the paint was completely dry.
Well, mistakes have been made.
Well, I'm glad he's having fun, though.
Yeah.
I would like an electric surfboard.
I would, too. To be honest, though, looking at his face, he's not having fun.
No.
He's trying to just do human things.
Yeah. There's probably no water on his home planet.
Mr. Coy.
He doesn't really understand how this works.
Is this how humans drink cider? I smell. It smells like chemicals.
Now just dump it on your head. No, Zuckerberg, no. Put it in the orifice in the center of your face.
Okay. No.
No, try to put it towards the stomach area, not your lungs.
I apologize. By the way, Zuckerberg, what an amazing burger place. After Facebook shuts down and he has nothing else to do, he needs to open a Zuckerberg.
A Zuckerberg?
Yeah. Instead of Whataburger, it's Zuckerberg.
I feel like he would sue himself, and then like 5 other Whataburger type restaurants would sue him.
Sure. But listen, nobody can replicate his Soylent Green recipe.
I hope people still get the Soylent Green reference. I use it like every 3 days.
I don't know if they do or not.
It's a Harrison Ford thing. You guys look it up. Google it.
Oh, not Harrison Ford. Charlton Heston.
Oh, I thought it was Harrison Ford. You're right. No, you're right.
Yeah.
It is Charlton Heston.
And it's such a terrible movie, too, but it's kind of iconic.
I like that movie.
Oh, man. Just a couple of days ago, we watched Escape from L.A.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So good.
I made my wife watch that. She was just like, what the fuck is happening? It's been, as a matter of fact, this whole week has been about me showing my wife movies that she's never seen before.
I get like weird because I'm like, sit down, we're watching this. And then like I like hold people hostage on that. Yeah. They're like, this is really bad 80s acting and the animation's bad. I'm like, what? This is remastered. This is so much better than the original. What are you talking about? That shark came right out.
Bro,
yeah.
So let me ask you this. Producer Nick swears up and down that John Carpenter wasn't trying to make Escape from LA funny. I think he's 100% wrong. Just some of the stuff that happens. Okay, the most iconic part for me is when Kurt Russell's like, when this can hits the ground, we all draw.
Of course.
He tosses it in the air, boom, boom, everybody's dead. He hits the ground, he's like, draw.
That's obviously trying to be funny.
Yes, thank you. When that chick that shows up
screams, we're doing this Bangkok style. And yeah, when a can hits the ground, that's clearly trying to be funny.
Yes, dude. And then when that chick shows up and she's like, "Oh, Snake, we can just get away from here. We can have this amazing life together." And then all of a sudden, like her chest just opens from gunshot wounds.
Yeah.
You're telling me that that's not supposed to be funny?
I'm sorry. When the Revenge of the Nerd guy is like talking crap to him, and then he's like walking away, and he has a gun over his shoulder, and he's like, "Hey, man, I'm talking to you," and he just doesn't even look back and pulls the trigger and just fills that guy with rounds. That's funny.
That's John Carpenter being funny.
I do not care who you are. That is funny. It's funny when you shoot people without looking.
I'm sorry, Nick. This is just the way it is. Oh. The part that we can't forget is when he's being led down to the little nuclear submarine, right? And it's that prison guard there. And he has all of his gear, and he's like, "Are either of you two going to be, or are either of you going to be the ones administering me the antidote?" And they're like, "No, Snake." And he's like, "Good," and just unloads this entire clip. And the guy just goes, "We thought you'd do that. That's why the first clip is filled with blanks."
Yeah.
It's just like, what?
That's clearly trying to be funny. Clearly.
If it's not trying to be funny, that John Carpenter needs to change his profession to comedies. Like, seriously, it's super funny, right?
Tell me it's not funny when he does the like death basketball game where he's got to make, I don't remember how many. No one's ever done it, so they send the one-eyed dude out there. That's the best part. Is like, it can't be done. It's impossible. And they're like, No one points out this dude has one eye.
That's a good point.
and then, of course, he does it, but they shoot him. Like, you know.
Yeah. Oh, man. And the whole scene with Bruce Campbell, where he's the Surgeon General, plastic surgeon.
Yeah.
And it just, his face, like the chin's all sticking out and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and at me. It doesn't even bother me. Send me your messages on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. I firmly believe that is an action movie with comedy elements.
The very end, when he does the 666 code and shuts off all the electronics in the world, and then he pulls out the book of matches and the pack of Lucky Strike smokes and lights up.
Exactly.
All right. Number one, that's funny. Number two, that's why smoking's cool. People, go buy some cigarettes and smoke. It's cool.
We talked about this the other day off air about how, like, we're
our
the last generation
is the last generation that knew how cool smoking was. Now people are like, why don't you just get a Juul? And it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't want to be lame.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Nick, you have to do me a favor. Hopefully we don't get a copy strike for this. Look up a scene where just look up Snake Plissken, president of what? You'll know what I'm talking about as soon as we pull it up, Coy. This is from Escape from New York, the first one. And this is like the classic scene to let you know that there's going to be some elements mixed in here. Oh, Nick's got it pulled up. All right. Unmuted. Here we go.
I have a deal for you. You receive full pardon for every criminal action you've committed in the United States. It was an accident. About an hour ago, a small jet went down inside New York City. The president was on board.
President of what?
That's not funny, Pliskin.
Yes, it is. That's the funniest shit. I fucking love that line. The president of what?
And the fact that they'll call him Snake half the time, and he'll be like, name's Pliskin. Yeah. And then when somebody calls him Pliskin, he's like, name's Snake. You know, it started from the beginning of it. They call him Pliskin through half of the first half of the movie, and he's like, call me Snake. And then you get to the end, and they're like, oh, Snake, you did it. Wow. And he's just beat to shit, and he's like, name's Pliskin. He kind of shows like the character progression, you know? Yeah, and then the other part I like that has to be being funny, because we all know that like half the actual action heroes are short dudes, but they make them. And the whole time everybody see him like, oh, thought you'd be taller.
Yeah, exactly.
Like everybody sees him is like, oh, thought you'd be taller.
Yeah, exactly. The whole movie. And of course, Lee Van Cleef looking old as fuck, dude. I don't know how old he was when he did, was it for A Fistful of Dollars? Lee Van Cleef was the...
Yeah, no, I know. The pointy nose, rat face looking dude.
Yeah, with Clint Eastwood in the 60s during the spaghetti westerns. And of course, you fast forward to these movies in the 80s, and I mean, he just looks old. And I'm not saying that in like a mean way. I'm just saying, you know, if you see him in those movies opposite Clint Eastwood, and then you see him in the 80s movies, it's like, oh, wow, you've got like some white cotton candy hair, dude.
See, there's word on the street that there's going to be another Escape movie with Chris Hemsworth. I heard that it was going to be like Escape from Detroit.
Ooh.
Which I think they're not going to make it Detroit because that's a little too close to home. You know,
I was going to say that's pretty much real life.
So there's talk it'll be like Escape from Chicago or something. But it's been in the works. It's been in the works for a couple of years. They've been talking about it.
They should do something like Escape from Portland.
I think they should just, I don't know. Like,
hey man, do you want to buy vegan body wash? Hey bro, we got this vegan ice cream for you to try. Hey man, is that a leather jacket? Fuck you. And it's just like an hour or 2 hours of him just trying to make his way through the farmer's market in Portland.
See, my favorite part would be is I got to know what Kurt Russell's cameo is going to be if they do a remake. It's going to be good.
If he's not the prison guard, I won't watch it.
It has to be prison guard?
Yeah, he has to be the bad guy. I'm sorry, but like he has to be.
There's only one way I do it, is if he's the president of the United States.
Ooh,
gotta go full circle.
One too.
I don't know if you have him as Snake, like you just have him as the president, no eye patch, but definitely use Kurt Russell as the president.
If they could at least do different colored eyes as like an homage, that'd be good.
At some point, like, when it's going down, have him grab his eye, be like, something.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, okay. No, the president, yeah. I would settle for either the prison guard or the president.
I'm down.
Yeah,
let's
fair
do
enough.
It. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's invest all our money.
Listen, Coy, these ciders taking a little too long. We got to down these. You
Okay.
ready to do?
Chink.
There it is, chink.
The sound of swallowing.
It's good stuff, but we need to move on. Because before we start talking about the Bronco, and you know that we will.
Bronco. I have a lot more thoughts that I've come up with about the Bronco in hindsight of the release. What do we have? This is the mystery beer.
Oh, this is the mystery beer, you guys. I just pulled it out. It is the Deschutes Black Butte 32 XXXI. No, it's just two I's, but I like doing it.
Sunday.
Imperial Porter, brewed with coffee, vanilla, nutmeg, and orange peels, aged Coy. Are you ready for this?
Ready.
In rum barrels.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm.
I hate to say this. We might need some fresh glasses because I'm afraid this is going to tint the beer. Or no, are we good?
What's the worst that could happen?
All right, I'm going to pop this thing open using our unicorn dick here. It's a vape for anybody that's
robot unicorn dick. Excuse you.
Sorry, robot unicorn dick. My apologies. Let me get you a little bit here, buddy. Ooh, that's dark and rich. That is so dark and rich, the Kardashians are trying to marry it.
Yeah, that is, and it's thick too.
Totally off the rails.
Wow, that is good.
You like?
That is a dark beer that I will put in the yummy category.
Oh man. That is ridiculous. What are we even doing right now?
I just came off of drinking a sweet cider, and this still tastes sweet and amazing. So I'm guessing if I actually had a clean palate, this would be even better.
I better text the good doctor and tell her if she wants any of this, she better get some now. What are you seeing?
Yeah, it's a 32 anniversary. This year's Imperial Porter was aged in Colombian rum barrels infused with cold brew coffee and spiced with vanilla, nutmeg, and sweet orange peel. And that's pretty much the only info about what's going on here.
Man, this is ridiculous, dude. We got to get
limited
Deschutes on the show.
Limited release. I actually did some work in Deschutes Brewing one time.
No kidding.
Yeah, some commercial flooring stuff on like an Easter weekend. But
how was it?
Oh, it was pretty cool. One thing that they have a bunch of catwalks and stuff all over for tours to walk through, and they should let people know that are doing the tours they're gonna be walking over people's heads, and like not to wear a dress.
Yeah. Oh, Corianne just came into the studio. She wants to try a little bit of this beer. Here you go, hon.
It's amazing.
It's crazy good. Can you buy like 4 or 5 more of these? So, can I ask you how much that bottle was?
No.
Come on, give us a hint.
No.
Was it 20?
It's none of your business.
Well,
Yes, it is. It's the listener's business. Come on.
Oh, actually.
Oh, jeez. This is what happens when she buys stuff drunk. Either way, good choice.
that
Hey,
is
put it
an
up.
amazing beer.
Actually, I was not drunk. I was just.
Well, that was sweet of you.
Drunk on love.
I'm glad you did, because that is superb. Superb.
We haven't opened both of them. I don't know if we're going to get to the second one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We can save it for later.
All right. Do you have thoughts?
It's amazing.
Coy, I apologize.
Chills,
Well, hold up
grapefruit
a second. Hold up a second. Because you have the palette that we need.
Okay.
You have thoughts? She's smelling.
I definitely smell chocolate,
Sure.
coffee, roasty malts,
There's a little bit of a marshmallow thing going on.
molasses.
Mm-hmm.
There's like some warm spices, like a nutmeg, maybe a little pumpkin spice for Coy.
Lots of cocoa nibs, too. Like, it straight up smells like cocoa nibs.
Definitely sweet. It's kind of like a Christmas cookie. You got like a sweet vanilla molasses cookie thing going on.
Yeah.
Finishes with like a nice roasty, toasty, malty finish. Not real bitter. Easy drinking. Long and lingering finish. Good.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Corey Ann. You can find her every Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Pardon My Fork when we do our wine tastings. And again, we're tasting more than just wine.
I'm going to go crazy out here. On the finish, and I've never used this before, there's definitely some leather.
Really?
Yeah.
I would agree.
Well, I mean, the doctor agrees, so
I never have used that, but I'm definitely picking that up.
that's the long and the short of it. Coy said it. Corey Ann approved it. So there you go. Here, I'll give you a little bit more of that, Coy. All right, we are moving on. Producer Nick, I think we have a photo. It's actually the pre-release of the Bronco, the Ford Bronco. Yeah, this is the Bronco prototype. What do you think, Coy?
10 out of 10. I would drive that.
Yeah, you like?
I like it a lot.
It's obviously a little bit shorter than the
This
normal
reminds
Bronco.
me of the dog strip guys Festiva, but like they did that with a, is that a Bronco or a Scout? I think that's actually a Scout.
I don't know, whatever it is. So I actually, the day that the Bronco got released, since you and I didn't end up recording, I sent this photo to the dog strip guys.
Oh.
And I said, hey, everybody, hey, did you see the new photos of the new Ford Bronco? What do you think? And I don't know who it was that responded to me. I assume, actually, no, I can't make an assumption on who it was that was responding. Either way, they sent me right back and they said, we approve. As soon as we get a Bronco, we're doing this.
Yeah. That would be awesome. So just so the listeners know, this is a old first gen Bronco or Scout. I can't tell. And they cut it off at the driver's seat and threw an axle underneath it. I mean, there's a good 3 feet between the tires.
But Coy, all joking aside, we do have the release video of the new Bronco. Are you ready to see it?
Sure, I'm ready.
All right. Ready, Nick? Hit me.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the all new Bronco right there.
This is like Scooby-Doo mobile / Batmobile.
What do they call these again? I forget now.
Something gangster something.
They're not Gangnam style. That's different.
No, but I mean, it's like, this is like a gangster thing.
Is it a gangster thing?
I'm pretty sure that, yeah, this means you're a gangster, you know?
How intimidated would you be if one of these rolled up on you?
0, but if a bunch of dude with nunchucks came running out of it, then may change where I'm at.
Wouldn't you expect it to be like a cavalcade of midgets to come running out of this?
I would assume it would be like a Mexican Batman that just like cartwheeled out. I am Batman well.
So when one of these vans has LPG, powered by LPG on it, it actually means little people.
Wow.
Well, there's a little 2JZ, Turbo 2JZ action. All right, Nick, that's good.
Oh, is he? Oh, I thought he was going to get some curb there for a second.
I can't remember what these
Not
are
a Mustang,
called. It's
no.
not Yakuza, obviously. It's something different. But it's with those crazy body kits that just stick out everywhere.
Yeah, that was a bunch of vans with giant wings, and reminds me of like a Triceratops thing going on the top, like crazy frills over it and stuff.
Yeah, this is straight up Triceratops.
Yeah.
They're going to get pulled over by a Triceracop. So we've been thinking about doing this. We've been thinking about doing something similar to this to Nick's Festiva.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I would start with like the Valkyrie pipes where you just extend the exhaust up.
Sure. Do you want us to do like we can do a heart at the end, or we can do a dick at the end?
There's only one way to do this.
Okay.
Nick's exhaust is what? Inch and a half?
I think it's an inch and a quarter.
Okay. Make it that size. I mean, 3 foot. You want that thing. You want the crazy, make it and chrome everything.
Yeah.
But maybe go from like inch and a quarter to inch. I mean, put some flare on it, just like a 1/4 inch of flare.
Yeah.
But
can I still
keep it tiny.
Well, can I still pump like the flame kit into it or what?
Yeah, obviously.
Okay, all right. So it's this teeny tiny little pipe coming out the back end of a Festiva.
Yeah. People will get it. It's ironic.
Okay, all right. It's not the size of the exhaust, it's the motion of the shot. I don't know.
It's the size. It's always been the size of the exhaust. Everyone knows that.
Well,
Only people that say that are people with small exhaust.
Yeah, true. Fair. All right, speaking of small exhaust, so Coy, the new Bronco has been released. Do you have thoughts? Producer Nick, would you pull us up some photos of the new Bronco while Coy ruminates?
So many thoughts, actually. Number one, what's not to love?
True.
I mean, online. Of course,
I'll give you one thing.
It's not a straight axle.
The manual transmission does not come. Period. Cannot and will not come with the 2.7 liter EcoBoost V6. I don't like that.
I'll be honest. I don't like that either. I'm uncertain why. I bet that changes in a year.
You could be right. One of the things that I lamented about my F-150 was that I couldn't get it in the manual. Period.
My other thought was. Part of the reason why they may be doing that is because for all the off-road functions to work properly, you need an automatic transmission if you're going to do all the limited slippy, skid steer and skid turning and all that. A lot of those functions may be locked out and not work with a manual transmission. My other thought is maybe the Warthog is going to be a manual only, the Raptor version of this, and so they're saving that.
You think?
Well, think about this. Whatever they're going to bump this thing up to.
Oh, that's a great shot, by the way. Is that a render of the Bronco? It's diving through some sand, kicking up this huge rooster tail.
Yeah, that's a render. Otherwise, if you leveled out the skyline behind it, this thing is about to roll.
Good point. Fair enough.
No, my thought was perhaps that they will offer the manual in the Raptor version because I'm guessing that this 3.55 B6, 3.5 B6, that there's a 2.7 and a 3.5, right?
Not as far as I saw.
There's
the sales sheet. Yeah, the sales sheet showed the 2.3 four-cylinder,
2.3,
and the 2.7 V6.
So the 2.7 sitting right at 300 horsepower, 300 foot-pounds of torque. I'm assuming with running super and a tune, you could have that running 400 horsepower.
Oh yeah, easily.
Which is probably about what the Raptor version of this is going to run. So you would basically just be getting a cheater Raptor, like with the price of a tune, which is probably nothing. So I'm wondering if the Raptor will come with the extra 100 horsepower, but be available in the manual. That keep people from being able to get a cheap Raptor version.
So let me ask you your thoughts on this then. The base motor is that 2.3 four-cylinder. The Mustang guys, because the EcoBoost Mustang is the 2.3, I assume it's close, similar to the same motor. Those guys can get 400 horsepower, 400 foot-pounds torque pretty easily, like bolt-ons in a tune. Are we going to see something similar with this Bronco? And if that's the case, is Ford going to be able to bump the 2.7 liter V6 up to something higher than that with bolt-ons?
I mean, I'm sure they could. I just don't know what they will do. But I'm assuming they're going to offer something that you can't get in the others. Either it'll be a bigger motor. I mean, they'll have to offer something to get people to want it so they don't just go buy this and just get a tune.
Well, sure, yeah.
I mean, you got to...
Besides voiding the warranty.
Well, yeah, I mean that. I mean, I'm guessing it'll have a wider body, some stuff.
Oh, man, I love that two-door. Nick is showing us a photo of a blue on black two-door, and that thing is just gorgeous.
There's nothing not to love about these Broncos. They hit it out of the park.
Do you know what kind of chassis they're on? Like, is it an F-150 chassis that's shortened?
I think it's a chassis that was made for the Bronco. Like, it's its own chassis.
I'm not sure what the tow capacity is on this thing. It's probably not going to be as much as
pretty low. It's like 3,000 or 3,500.
Yeah, yeah.
It's independent front suspension. A lot of people are crying about that. I expect it to be independent.
All their trucks, well, not all their trucks. I mean, you get into the F250 and F350, they're solid axle. But, I mean, any off-road
Look, it's got a front locker in it. Yeah. That's what matters. If they can reliably have a front locker in an independent front suspension vehicle and the axles are built tough enough, I'm golden. I'm totally fine with it.
Talk to me about that skid steer.
There's not a lot known about it other than you hit a button and it appears to lock one of the rear tires and you can just ease it around a corner. But
we've seen videos of it.
That's the only video I've seen of it is in one of their videos. They popped that up. Even in their new release video, they never mentioned the skid turn or brake turn thing. So
really?
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on. In one of the pictures, you could see it on the dash, or what I believe is the skid turn button. But yeah, I don't know. It's one of those we don't know yet.
We have to get our hands on one. I mean, like physically put our hands on one and drive it to be able to know what's going on here.
Basically, yeah. Which supposedly some people are driving prototypes right now. I mean, some media companies. Now, I had this thought,
We're too cool for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, we're not. We're not sellouts. I had this thought of why the Bronco came back. Jeep has been talking about their Jeep pickup for a while.
Sure.
And they hit it out of the park with theirs. I mean, they did everything right.
Go ahead and get a Gladiator up, Nick.
Ford has been the number one, F-150 has been the number one selling, not truck, but number one selling vehicle in America for God knows how long.
Yeah, it's true.
And then this little company called Jeep decided to come up and try and take a little bite out of their market share.
Nick's got a Rubicon up there for us, a little orange on black. Very, very good looking.
Yeah.
Oh, with the front glass folded down, too. I love it.
I didn't even know they did that.
No, I didn't either. Hopefully it's not a prototype that producer Nick has shown us instead of a production photo as he slams his fist furiously against the keyboard. I wonder how many times
like they do that.
During the show he's just like in his brain, he's like, fuck you, dude. You want to take bets?
We'll double your pay. Double your pay for this episode.
Oh, man. Speaking of which, he was not super happy with me saying last week when I showed him the list of interns, and he literally just like took the list, didn't even look at it. He just gives it back to me and goes, just get the hot one.
He's still on that, huh?
Yeah, he is. But just stone face. You don't even know. It's not like even it would mean more to me if he had like a sly smirk or like a wink, you know? But no, just deadpan face, straight face. I hand it to him. He looks at it for a half a second, hands it back, and just goes, just get the hot one.
And so he wants to get shot down at home and away from home. He's going there. Wants to disappoint on all levels.
That was coy, Nick, not me. Screw his audio up, not mine. Yeah, look at this though. That Gladiator, that's a gorgeous rig, and it's on a full-sized 1500 chassis, right?
No, there's nothing wrong with them. Like, they're great rigs, and obviously they're going to be taking a chunk out of Ford's market share, which I'm sure Ford doesn't like that. And I mean, this has been in the works for a long time. We knew it was coming, so Ford knew it was coming, and once Ford realized it was real, I think they said, "Fine, you want to take a bite of our pie? We're going to get some of your pie." And they knocked this Bronco out of the park. And that, I mean, Jeep has cornered the market on Jeeps.
Yeah.
But now there's one competitor. So this is definitely going to take a chunk of their market. So tit for tat. I honestly think that this Bronco is part of Ford going, screw you, we can do this too.
I agree with that. What I also think is that they're preparing for a virtual onslaught, because I ended up talking to a guy that's kind of a higher up at one of the big Jeep stores here in Oregon. As a matter of fact, we're going to have him on the show. We haven't been able to quite coordinate it, but we will have him on the show in the next month or so, and he's going to come on and tell us his thoughts about the new Jeep Gladiator.
He was actually supposed to be on it today.
He was, but things and stuff, stuff comes up. But hello, car salesman. Like, can you trust any of them? No. So I was at a bachelor party and I was getting drunk. Wasn't driving, don't worry, but I was getting drunk, and I started talking to this guy, and I was screaming into the wind about why would they make the Jeep Gladiator a V6 truck like it's the stupidest thing in the world. And this guy was like, listen, man, first of all, I don't think it's stupid, and I'll tell you why. He said, I work for the Dodge Jeep store, and it's one of the, like I said, it's one of the big ones, big dealerships in Oregon. And he said, through the grapevine, we've learned that Dodge is bringing back the Dakota. And they wanted to know how the Dakota was going to do, because you had the Canyon and the Colorado, the GMC Canyon and the Chevy Colorado come out. Mm-hmm. They did okay. Their sales have been all right. And then Ford comes out with the new Ranger. And the Ranger's just been selling gangbusters, okay? Dodge has been really weary of coming back into the space, and they wanted to kind of dip their toes and test the waters. So even though the Gladiator is on a half-ton chassis, they built it more like a mid-sized truck to test out that audience. And it sold so well that apparently now Dodge is telling their sales managers at their stores, get ready for the new mid-sized Dakota to come out. Coy's rolling his eyes, by the way.
That's
Anybody
such
on
a
audio?
massive stretch. I mean, that's a car salesman spiel if I ever heard one.
Yeah.
But The Jeep pickup, the Jeep Gladiator, has been teased for fucking 8 years probably.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've been. That's not because of the Dakota. Like Jeep's been trying to do this. This is a Jeep thing. It's not going to be anything like the Dakota. People who the guys you have that are going to buy these Jeep Gladiators, if there was a Dakota on the other side of the parking lot, they wouldn't go, "Oh, I'll take that instead."
Yeah, true.
Like they're not going to be, even if they're using the same frame, they're not going to be the same vehicle in any regard. So one's a mid-sized pickup, the other one's kind of an off-road beast. So that's just
off-road beast. Do you think the Gladiator's an off-road beast?
I shouldn't say off-road beast, but I mean it's made, you can with basically no lift fit 37s. Like Jeep really listened to their audience, and with minimal mod you can run monster tires. I guarantee the Dakota's not going to fit 37s with a 1-inch or like a leveling kit.
I'm with you. So let's discredit everything that sales guy has said to us. He'll be on in a month or so.
Now we'll
be able to pick him completely apart. We are going to stick pins down his penis. He is going to be so sad that he came on the show.
I will say
I've been so nice to him because I knew that once he met you, it would be all over.
I'd ruin the friendship.
You'd just be like, "Hey, bro, nice to meet you. You're full of shit."
So, I mean, there's parts of this that I believe that there's a new Dakota coming. Totally believe that. I bet it won't be out for 2 or 3 years, though. If we haven't actually heard about it, it's not that close. In my mind, I don't think they've kept it that good of a secret to
all right,
suddenly release it. Number 2, the part where he says that it's going to share a lot of parts with the Jeep pickup. I'll bet that. I mean, like frame and engine, there'll be a lot of interchangeable stuff, but body, not even going to be close.
That's fair. I don't know why you would. See, this has always been my complaint about the mid-sized trucks, to be honest. They're just a little bit smaller than the full-sized. And why am I going to get a mid-sized when they're only slightly smaller? And, you know, speaking of salesman pitches, you know, when I was buying my F-150 and they were trying to talk me into a Ranger, it was all about like, well, I mean, it's 6 inches shorter, and that 6 inches can mean a lot. Like, do you live in Portland? Do you drive around Portland? What about downtown Eugene? That 6 inches will mean a lot. No, it won't. It fucking won't. Are you shitting me right now? That's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Yeah.
That 6 inches is going to make all the difference for me?
No, it makes zero difference.
No, that's what she said, not a guy driving my truck. Yeah. Like, come on now.
Now, what I will say, though, is do you think the new Dakota will have a front straight axle like the Jeep pickup?
I don't see it.
That's where I'm at. Whereas, like, I don't see it. If it does, that'll be interesting. And I'll roll back some of the things I said, but I don't see it being.
It'll be the only mid-sized truck, I mean, I guess, except for the Gladiator. I still don't, but that's the thing I don't buy. It's on a half-ton chassis. It's just got a mid-sized engine, which actually brings me around to my next question for you, Coy. I want to know what you think should have come in the Jeep Gladiator.
I mean, there should be a big engine option, always. I think there will be. I think they're saving that. And I think, obviously, with the Bronco coming out, they got to now roll some crap out. So the Jeep, was it 392 or whatever, concept, if you want to call that a concept. I'm angry that they're calling that a concept since everyone in the world has been putting V8s in Jeeps since Jeeps were invented. So to call that a concept is pretty, that's in the face of concepts.
So you can agree then that when they launched the Gladiator, there should have been a 5.7 Hemi option.
So yes and no. Like there should be a 5.7 Hemi option at some point. At launch, no, because they wouldn't have been able to sell anything but that. I think that they will. Like now that the hype is kind of down and the Bronco's going to be out in a year, I bet you there'll be a V8 option about the time the Bronco comes out, and there's no V8 option for the Bronco. That's the biggest complaint is why don't we have a V8? And they're going to go, hey, we got a V8, you know, don't forget about us over here with the Jeeps.
Yeah, true.
I think that they're saving it for that.
If they had 2 engine options, one was the V8 and one was the baby Cummins, the 2.8 liter Cummins diesel.
There is a diesel option that comes out, I think, next year.
I'm talking about launch.
Oh,
if at launch, instead of this anemic, I'm sorry, like I know people are going to disagree with me, but like This V6 just seems anemic. I've been watching videos of people driving their Jeep Gladiators, and the thing that everybody says is it is severely lacking on power and it has horrible fuel economy. If I'm going to get horrible fuel economy, I want big power.
Yeah.
So my feeling is at launch, had I been running the stuff at the head of Jeep, if I were the Jeep overlord, okay, I was the exalted ruler of the Jeep universe. Mm-hmm. It would have been launched with maybe 3 engines, but in my mind, 2 engines. One, the 2.8 Cummins, and second, the 350 Hemi V8. That's my feeling. Where do you think that would land? What do you think people would prefer, or do you think it'd just be a split down the middle?
No, everybody wants the V8. Here's why they didn't do that, though. Jeep owners have long since gotten used to no power. There's, I mean, seriously, the early JKs had minivan motors in them. They had that V6 Pentastar or whatever.
Yeah, true.
Notoriously crappy motor.
Yeah.
Notoriously. So they already know people will buy these regardless of power.
Oh, what's the saying we used to have? Where there's smoke, there's a Dodge Caravan.
Yeah. So people buy these Jeeps regardless of the power.
Was that the 3.3?
I don't even know.
Okay.
I'm not even going to. It's not my forte. Here's the other thing. When you put a V8 in there and you got guys that can fit 37s with basically no mods, the amount of axle, like you when you start putting that kind of power on that much tire, like then you're running into a huge string of warranty, or you're going to have to start not warrantying these, and you're going to piss off a lot of brand new owners. So for them to put a V8 in it is more than just throwing a V8 in it. They need to do a lot of drivetrain upgrades to support that V8.
That's true. That's fair. And actually, I'm trying to find a photo from my local dealership. You're going to have to filibuster for me here for a second, Coy, because it's going to take a minute to find these photos. But trust me, it's very relevant to what you're saying.
And there's not a V8 option with the Bronco. And I think part of that's the same reason is the drivetrains aren't up to handling this kind of power. And hopefully whenever the Raptor version of the Bronco comes out, they're going to have to do some drivetrain modifications as well.
I don't know, man. That 2.7 liter V6, that EcoBoost, it's going to produce some serious horsepower, and it's going to produce some serious torque as well. So they might be tougher than you expect. I'm just throwing it out there.
I agree with that, but while those might be able to handle it on 33s or 35s, when you start bumping up to 37s, which word on the street is they're going to have 37s on that. And then the Jeep V8 concept also word on they were going to have 37s. So now that 35s is the new 33, 37 is what everybody's that's what they're going to try and push towards their hot shoe models, which that bump in tire size makes a huge, and I repeat, huge difference on your axles.
So what size do you run on yours?
I'm running 35s. 37s would, for me, the jump from most vehicles, the jump from 35s to 37s is pretty astronomical in modifications you need to do, which is kind of one of the reasons that makes the new Jeep Gladiator so cool.
Producer Nick?
Is that you can easily jump to 37s, and if you're wheeling hard, you're going to have some serious axle problems. But a lot of guys that are just kind of doing trails and driving it around, they can pretty easily roll on 37s, and it's not a big deal.
No,
so,
hit Coy's Messenger. You were right.
Yeah.
All right, this was parked outside of my local dealership. Producer Nick's going to pull it up here. Obviously, this is not a Gladiator, but I thought it was relevant to our topic here. What do you think about that camber, Coy?
That's pretty sweet. I bet that thing side hill's good. I'm guessing he got hit there by another vehicle, judging from the missing fender.
Maybe.
Or he jumped it, like he sent it.
I think the jump is more likely, because when I bought Corey Ann's car, that is what was sitting in their lot. This is actually a photo from January. And when I asked the service guy what happened, he was just like, listen, it's like Michael Jordan said, go big or go home. I have a feeling what he was trying to interpret to me was this motherfucker jumped it. And for those listening on audio, what you're looking at is... I know I'm on
Dana 35s. Still going to send it.
What Jeep is this, Coy?
That's a JK.
A JK. It's a JK Jeep. Like Coy said, the passenger side fender is gone, and the two front wheels are very much cambered in. Very much cambered in. It's a little bit modified. It's lifted. It's got a nice aftermarket bumper on it with a big worn winch. Big
bar,
shackles, light bar, the whole nine.
It's clearly been driving it out, like it's been towed out because you can see the tread wear on the outside edge of the tire, or that'd be towed in, I guess. I don't know.
I believe this to have been jumped, but yeah, no, I think it reinforces your point.
Which I will say that I think you might be right on the jump now that I look more. If you look on those lights on the front, one of them is slammed all the way down.
Exactly. Yep.
So that may be from a pretty serious front impact.
Yeah. It looks like a serious front impact. It looks like it nosed over.
Well, I'm sure that sucked for this guy because that was probably a whole new front axle, and he took it to the dealer. So that's like $6,000 or something crazy.
Well, yeah, maybe he thought he could get warranty done on it. I don't know.
I'm guessing he thought he'd get his insurance to pay for it, which he might have.
Maybe. Either way, this leads us into our next segment, actually our favorite segment of the week. Producer Nick is going to get that up for us. Coy, are you ready to see our Smoking Deal or Smoking a Doob?
Yes, I am.
Smoking Deal or Smoking a Doobie. Smoking Deal or Smoking a Doobie is brought to you by idiots. Idiots all over the world are giving us the fuel that we need to run this segment of our show. And we thank you from the world around. Coy, what are we looking at here, my friend?
This is a 1987 Bradley. Can you scroll up there, Nick?
Bradley GT.
GT2 4x4. Now, I don't have a ton of info on these, but this was a fiberglass body that you could slap on top of a Volkswagen Bug motor and pan and get that kind of gull wing, kind of Lamborghini / Opel look. You've all seen them before. They look, honestly, they were hideous looking.
They have like an 80s cool style. They've got the gull wing doors.
The gull wing doors is cool, but you could tell they were a fiberglass kit car from like 8,000 miles away. But they have a good look. This guy stuck it on what I believe the pickup frame.
Yeah, it's a 1989 Toyota truck frame.
So the front, what would it be? Now the front is an engine compartment, but it was designed for a Bug, so half the motor is sticking out. This thing looks pretty awesome. Like this is a legit cool rig.
Honestly, I kind of love it. It says it has limited slip in the rear differential. Sure. Is that something that 89 Toyotas had?
You can put it in. They're like $300. He's probably got an Aussie locker or something. It's not a big deal.
32-inch tires.
Oh, they look bigger than that, but I guess, yeah.
It is a V6, which is a bit of a detriment in this year because those V6s were kind of pigs, weren't they?
Yeah, and they had some head gasket issues, but yeah, no, this is legit cool. I like. If I'm not
mistaken, Coy, go ahead and scroll to the photo of the back there, producer Nick. I'm almost positive this thing has the radiator in the back, and you can see the radiator hoses going across the hood.
Yeah, it very likely does because I don't see any room for it in the front.
Well, and also
the rear is vented and everything already since it was designed for a mid-rear engine vehicle.
Exactly. And if I'm not mistaken, there is a radiator cap visible in the top, in the hoses in the front. So yeah, some serious custom work has been done. And by custom, I mean 1,000 feet of hose.
Which I don't understand why he couldn't tuck this a little better instead of running it across the hood. Like, there's no way to make this 3-liter V6 look good sticking out of the hood of anything, but when you have literally the fuse box sticking out of the hood, that looks hideous.
Well, let me ask you this: what about the intake? Notice it curves back down into the body, so it's above the body because the engine's above the body, but then the intake actually routes back into the body. Why wouldn't you just make it a snorkel?
Well, he's gonna have a spot for an air box for a filter and whatnot, so
I don't know how long ago a person built this, but like, wouldn't it make so much more sense just to put a snorkel on it?
Kinda, but I mean, you still have to figure out where you're going to put an airbox, and you got to be able to see past that airbox since that's right in front of the driver. So, I mean, even if you did a snorkel, you'd kind of have to run it down somewhere there to get it into an airbox so you could get the air filtered. Yeah, I think this thing's pretty cool.
Yeah, you dig it?
I dig it. Like, I straight up fucking love this, honestly.
I mean, it looks like it's
I wish this was honestly wish
build.
This was a 22R. I would like it more if it was the small 4-cylinder.
I'm with you. V6 5-speed manual, 4x4, 114,000 miles. Parts replaced at time of build include head gasket, timing belt, water pump ignition parts, brakes front and rear, shocks, headers, brake fuel cooling lines. Unique and fun car to drive if you can fit in it. So that means it's small inside.
Oh, I'm sure.
Now, the price, Coy. The price.
He is asking 15,000 clamps.
$15,000 for this gull-wing doored monstrosity.
Now, this is in New York, and since his fiberglass body, it actually isn't covered in rust.
True.
So he has that going for him.
The chassis is not fiberglass.
No, but he just did a frame off, looked like, so, he repaired that.
Well, so here's the thing, though. When you say he just did a frame off, how old does this thing look? Like, when was it put together, do you think?
Oh, God, there's no way for me to say that, because it looks like it was painted with a rattle can, and that could have been 2 days ago or 10 years ago.
I'm just saying, if it was built 10 years ago, then rust can accumulate.
It's true. The pictures look good for it to be 10-year-old pictures, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, true.
It's a hard one to really call.
Nick, there's a YouTube link. Can you open that for us? Nick's going to go ahead and pop this open. Let's see what he's showing here. What this thing has to say. Hopefully it's him like mudding, driving through something deep.
I would like that a lot.
Yeah, here we go. Go ahead and pop that thing open there, Nick. Ooh, this guy's got some off-road stuff. Dang, do you see his YouTube channel?
All right, so
he looks the
we
part.
haven't done a real in-depth video of this car before.
Don't listen to him, Theon. You're gorgeous.
Did some driving videos, and
Oh man, it is getting it.
Yeah, he's ripping around. No, I bet this thing's super lightweight.
It's definitely lighter than the Toyota body. Yeah, it actually shows him finding the Bradley kit car and trying to open the doors.
And the door fell off while he was doing it.
It's got the Volkswagen engine in the back, the whole nine. Yeah.
You put this body on cost-effective. Volkswagen stuff.
Pause it, Nick.
It was
a supercar, Coy.
Sorry, look at this picture. In a fair to remember, your own Bradley GT. I like it says a fair, and it shows like an old dude with gray hair and a perm leaning on this car with like
forget
a hot
the suede jacket.
Hot young chick in it. So I feel like that's a double entendre.
Is she really hot? I mean, look at that face. Good Lord
I'm going
almighty.
off like 80s standards here.
80s British standards. She looks like she's been inbred 4 generations.
Let me go. For the dude that's leaning on it, like, yeah,
fair.
Like he's punching above his weight hard.
Fair. He's a 3 and she's a 5. I got what you're saying.
So
the Bradley, we give it a 6.5. All right, Nick. Let's see here. Anything else for us to see in the video? Fast forward a bit. We want to see some driving action. Come on, Theon. Stop talking. Nobody wants to hear you talking, Theon.
There was some shorter videos. There we go.
There it is. He's driving a little bit. Nothing really showing us anything too special. Coy, by the way, these V6s, they're so god-awful sounding.
Oh, yeah. There aren't that many like truck V6s that sound good. I mean, you got a few.
It's true.
KLZEs and VR6s that can sound really good, but that's about it.
Doing some cookies in the snow. All right, that's not bad.
That's jerking yourself off, though. No one's impressed but you.
All right, fair enough. All right, Nick, that's enough. We've seen enough. Coy.
$15,000. That is so high that I'm assuming that this guy has a serious meth addiction and just like... That's insane. Like, this is a unique thing, and like $5,000, I'd be like, that's pretty expensive. But I could see somebody going for it because of that. $15,000 is. I'm trying to think. How PG are we? How rated R are we going with this show?
Very, yeah.
Okay, so this guy is. It's ridiculous. I can't summon the words for that price.
Yeah, no, he's smoking some caveman dick. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know if he's like flying to Bangkok to get a cheap sex change surgery and just thought in his delusion that he'd get $15K for that.
Yeah.
You know,
If you had to explain his intellect, it would be boost-friendly timing. Are you getting what
I'm just, if I had to explain what's going on here, he's like a casual meth user.
Yeah.
Recreational crystal meth user.
So, Coy, you've explained this to me before. You know what the problem is with this guy? He wants to get out of his project as much as he has put into it.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
Yeah, he wants to get his money back, which is not something that happens. Now, if it was just a straight-up 1989 Toyota pickup, those do have value. Do you have any idea what those are worth?
And what
4,000 or 5,000?
He said this had 120,000.
114.
114,000. Yeah, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. That's kind of low mileage for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that wouldn't be uncalled for.
Does it lose value with the fiberglass bottom?
Yes. I mean, think about this. You've narrowed down, like, there's lots of people that need a 89 Toyota pickup and they have $5,000.
Right.
The people that need a Gullwing fiberglass shitty paint job Bradley kit car that's four-wheel drive, you've considerably narrowed your market.
Yeah, it's true. It's a good point.
Like, if I want to haul some bricks and take my dogs to the beach, this is not the car for me now.
Yeah, fair. Well, so where do you land? Like, what would you? I'm pretty sure we can both agree the guy's smoking a dupe.
Oh, he's smoking a Pineapple Express dupe.
Out of a glass dick, baby.
Yeah, like this is some craziness. If he had this for $5,000 or $6,000, he would have me in an interesting place. I'd be looking at what state it's in and thinking about it.
Yeah. I'd be interested at $5,000.
$10,000, I'd say you're crazy, but I would say maybe somebody will buy it. $15,000, there's nobody gets a $15,000 tax return. You know what I'm saying?
You know, he would have my interest at $5,000. He would have my attention at $3,000.
Yeah.
That's where I land on this.
Here's the way I look at this.
Mm-hmm.
For a rig like this, it needs to be a retarded impulse buy.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be somebody that comes, like this money came to them that they didn't necessarily work for at that moment.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? This needs to be, I have 6 kids and I just got all my taxes back. I have $7,500 that is burning a massive hole in my pocket.
I thought you were going to say somebody that won the lottery, but if they won the lottery, they have more financial sense than to buy this.
Well, they probably just went and bought a Raptor or something.
Well, yeah, they could run out and buy a Tiger. You know, they could be like a Mike Tyson and not buy this. So we're solidly at smoking a doob. If this dude wanted to sell it to me personally, 3,000-4,000. Coy, about $5,000, you'd have his attention, right?
Yeah.
All right, there you go. That is our smoking deal, smoking a doob. Take us out, Nick.
Smoking deal or smoking a doobie.
That is by far and away my favorite segment of the week. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Second only to Getting Drink with You. Coy, thank you for being here, my friend. Let's go ahead and lead this thing out. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, brother. We will not be here next week. I am going to be in Missouri. Coy is going to be off in lands unknown, probably Switzerland. So we will be having a replay for you guys. Please do enjoy that. And in the meantime, hit us with any comments, questions, concerns, anything that you're drinking, anything that you're cooking. We want to see it. So for Coy, Ford Sin Masterson, who we just learned today, his full name is Fuck Coy. I've never heard of anything in my life. Anyways, for Fuck Coy, producer Nick, and everyone else here at 3BQ, this is Andy. We will see you next time.